Okay. So, last we left off, you guys had, of course, arrived in the city, and you met a new companion there. But tired from being out on the road and just kind of wanting a day to chill, you guys decide to head to the bathhouse. In an effort to both relax and try to get to know each other a little better. While Lish and Tobias went to the public baths and ended up having a nice hair braiding party. The gals got a private bath where they met a bath drake. And
who was a good boy.
They all hung out together. Both groups had a couple of interesting conversations. Meanwhile, Hawk and Erin weren't really too interested in going into the bathhouse for whatever reasons those may be. So they decided to visit a potion dealer in the marketplace who happened to be a kobold wearing a wig, selling these weird batshit potions. Who knows what they might do? You didn't ask for most of them. But
Listen,
turns
if
out
we asked for most of them, we would have been there all day.
Turns out that potions are indeed magic items, and thus a little out of your budget at this point in time. So you made a promise to come back once you're a little more flush with coin. And once everyone was all wrapped up at the bathhouse, you guys decided to head to the archives. It was there that Hawk assisted Demir in trying to do some research on Fae when you were approached by a drow woman using a wheelchair who offered maybe a little bit of extra help, seeing what she can do in the more private section of the archives. And that's where we left off. So, Hawk and Demir, you guys have been led to the second floor. And the drow woman opened a door to another staircase. And she activates her wheelchair and starts to fly up the stairs, beckoning you guys to follow her.
I'm gonna follow.
Sure. I'm game.
So she leads you, once you go up the stairs, you find yourself in an area that looks similar to that of the public libraries downstairs, but maybe slightly more homey. That's the right word. There are a couple of archivists shuffling about, doing their own research. That you can see a couple of people that look like scholars doing research to whatever end. But this area seems much more comfortable, and it's clearly intended for those who are going to be here for a little while longer, trying to do your own research. The drow woman, however, she's continuing on her way.
I mean, I'm still following her.
So is Hawk, and he does very quickly, sort of quietly ask, is what we're looking for further up, perhaps?
It is actually. This is more of a a section for people doing specific research. We have people coming from the schools to come look at things here. I believe what you need might be upstairs. I've been trying to do a little bit of research on the planes myself.
I see. Well, go ahead, lead the way. We shall follow.
He leads you up yet another staircase. And
Stairs.
So many stairs.
it begins to look more like a manor. This is clearly where the Archivist herself lives. There's a couple of maids bustling to and fro, cleaning things. There's some different hallways in rooms. Portraits up in the hallways. Oddly, mostly humans. And every doorway you pass, you notice it's kind of odd because the doors and doorways, they look like they're made to be large enough for someone ogre-sized. But she eventually takes you to what looks like a private study. It's at this point you notice when entering the study, and the walls are lined in more bookshelves, and there's a desk off to one side. But as you enter, something kind of catches your eye, and you reflexively look at it as this kind of at-size lunar moth flutters down near the Archivist.
Oh, that's unusual. I have a horrible thought. This doesn't happen to look anything like the rooms in my dream, does it?
It does, actually.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
Demir is looking a little uncomfortable.
So the Archivist starts kind of going around to her different shelves, like looking through, kind of half reaching for a book and then seeming to change her mind, and using her chair to float up and look at some of the other shelves. Is there anything you guys are doing, or are you just hanging out waiting for her to do her thing?
Assuming we're allowed to start looking around, Hawk will do so, keeping an eye out for any Fae-related titles on the book spines.
Okay. So you can roll a perception check.
Sure thing. Oh, okay. What's my modifier for that? Either way, ow, because I rolled a 3. That's a 5. I don't think I find anything.
You start to head over to one of the shelves, and the Archivist kind of glances back and says, I'd appreciate it if you would keep your space from the shelves. Some of these tomes are a little more fragile. They're ancient.
I see. Hawk just nods and backs up.
She eventually finds one that she pulls out, and she brings it over to her desk, and her lunar moth lands on her shoulder, and it's kind of interesting because it's a giant bug.
I kind of thought that.
She doesn't seem that bothered by its presence, but it just lands on her shoulder, kind of like how a cat would walk around on your shoulders. And she starts flipping through the tome. What are you looking for in particular?
Hawk looks towards Demir. I almost called you Levy. That is the wrong player and the wrong character entirely.
Rip. I'm looking for how to get rid of a fairy king.
Are you intending to go and kill one?
Just get rid of one.
Okay. She starts to flip through, and she's kind of narrating as she's looking. Well, it's a rather difficult task. You can attempt to banish it. I mean, if it has followed you to the material plane, but if it's powerful, it's not likely to do that. It would want to stay in its own domain. There are those who have made pacts with them that have tried to break the pact, but have been unable to do so without interference from either another Fey Lord or a deity. Trying to break a pact without outside assistance would not be advisable. Otherwise, there's the usual tricks. There's cold iron. If worse comes to worse, if you are powerful enough, you could potentially kill one, but
He stole something from me.
What did he steal?
Back. My name.
She's clearly thinking for a moment and says, I am actually waiting on a book. And she kind of like looks you up and down. She's clearly thinking, are you at all familiar with House Umlaw?
Hold on, let me check my notes. Oh God.
Little question. I'm sure this is a word plant for Demir, but is there any chance that Talk could roll something like history or insight to see if he knows anything?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm curious.
If I don't have
That'd be
anything in my
history.
notes about it,
History.
but I might roll a history check if I can.
Ooh, that's 20.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, yeah, you guys both know that House Umlaw is one of the older noble houses of this country. They have an estate near Uvila, which is one of the cities towards the western mountain range. And in the past, there's sort of a local legend about them that they had come to power through the help of of outside magic. Some people say this could be demons, those that don't like them, would say that. Some say that they were chosen by some sort of celestial to be raised above their station. But either way, there's talk of an otherworldly influence to their gaining power, and this was like centuries ago, a long time ago. But the archivist says the latest lord of the house, Lord Thanen, I'm actually waiting for a book on him that might assist in breaking pacts, if you're looking for that sort of thing.
Do you
It's supposed to be some sort of grimoire tome. It's been in the family for years, but Lord Thanen wants nothing to do with it anymore. But he's gone kind of quiet lately, and I've been meaning to send a courier his way to ask.
Well, I don't want to speak for my companions, but I can certainly go and check on that for you.
Would those be the companions that you entered the library with?
Yes. Some of them.
Are you an adventuring group?
I mean, I wouldn't call us a group, but I've done odd adventures, I suppose, along our way. So, yes.
All right. Well, perhaps I can bring them, have someone fetch them to bring them up here so that we could have a proper chat about it. As you said, you do not wish to speak for them, and I think that's probably wise.
Shall we go and get them ourselves, perhaps?
Either way, you could either grab them, or I could send one of my servants.
I think we can go and let them know. It's getting back up that might require your permission, of course.
I think enough people saw you with me that it should not be an issue.
Right.
I sort of stand out.
I wouldn't say in a
I'm
bad
sorry,
way.
What is your name?
My name is Archivist Vahasa Lightstrider.
Vahasa Lightstrider.
Here.
It's...
I can toss those names
Strider.
into the chat.
Thank you.
Now,
Archivist
And-
Varhasa Lightstrider. Okay.
and then this is the guy who she's talking about.
Thank you for your kindness. I need to read that again. Varhasa. I'm Hawk.
Pleasure to meet you.
You
And
can call me
what are you called?
Demir.
Pleasure to meet you as well. I will await your return here.
Very well.
Hawk, why don't you go ahead?
You're sure?
Yeah, go ahead. Get the others.
Hawk sort of stands there for a moment, but then after like a second or two, nods and goes on his way.
I'm sorry. I I hate to press this upon you, but I cannot speak very freely about these matters.
I think that's directed at the Archivist.
Yes,
I know.
this is-
She's
yeah.
Okay.
she's taking a moment to think about her response. She's a smart
Right,
lady.
sorry. That's fine.
She kind of sits back and thinks for a minute, nods and says, I understand. Perhaps we can simply discuss it in a way that means I need a favor in exchange for further access to the archives. You saw that third level. We passed through there. And I was perhaps, shall we say, I was looking for a group of people that might be able to help.
Yeah, that may work. Just, he's following me.
That's rather odd. How?
A lot of things are odd in my life lately.
I mean, I completely understand. And at this point, the lunar moth kind of just starts fluttering in a circle around the room. And Varhasa says, well, if I'm glad to help. I could sort of, it's hard to describe, but I could sort of sense that I could trust you all when you came into the archives. Hopefully you feel the same way about me, but I would be glad to try and assist.
Thank you. I just I don't know what he's capable of.
Perhaps the book from Lord Thanin will assist in that matter.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you in advance.
Of course. So, Hawk, what are you doing?
Oh, he's just gonna go straight down. Maybe glance a little bit at the people on the third level, but he's not really expecting anything.
Okay.
And he's just gonna seek out everyone in turn and ask them to head upstairs with him.
I think that kind of after Demir and Hawk had initially left, like kind of right at the start of this whole thing, I think Lish would have gone over to Tobias, since Tobias has been pretty close following behind him since the bathhouse, and kind of hold him by the shoulder for a second and say, I think that she's probably going to be a while looking for these books of her. And I had some business that I wanted to take care of in town. Would you be willing to stay and make sure that she is all right while I
will. I can do that.
I'll explore.
Hmm?
Nothing. Avery's File Explorer just came on screen on her screen share for like a split second. I didn't even see what was in it.
Sorry about the noises from my dad's phone in the background.
I can barely notice them. You're fine.
I wasn't even aware that they were happening, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
I know how much she means to you. I assure you I will do what I can to make sure she's safe.
Good man. I will come back here once I'm done, or I'll go back to the inn if I can't find you here. Hopefully she won't just go running off. And he sighs and departs the library archive.
All right. Well,
Take it Hawk doesn't find Lish then.
No.
That's gonna raise questions.
We'll
Everything
touch-
about Lish raises questions. Are you new?
Same.
Well, I guess that means Lish doesn't get to participate in figuring out a group name.
Technically
Lish is a
speaking,
shady
he
woman.
is new here.
I heard it as I said it. I'm just like, oh no, wait, he hasn't been around very long.
Been around longer than Hawk. Hey.
All right. So, Hawk comes to each of you individually.
Or, in groups if you're grouped up.
Yeah. Hawk, what do you say to rally everyone?
Listen, the Archivist has something for us, I believe. Maybe mostly Demir, but she does require our assistance, and I, for one, would not want to turn her down.
Oh well, I'm always happy to help, and I think I've probably been with Evie during this time, trying to help her with her stuff. So I'm gonna turn to her and say, "Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?"
Evie.
Sorry. She's like nodding.
All right. So Hawk, you head down there and you don't see Lish around.
Well, once he gathers everyone, he's gonna ask, does anyone know where Lish went?
Lish had some things he needed to do in town. He said he'll either meet us back here or, if he can't find us, back at the inn.
All right then. Well, we shouldn't need the Archivist this time. If you all follow me, it's just up the stairs, and up the other set of stairs, I suppose.
So you eventually make your way back to what looks like Archivist Rahasa's office. Or at least a study. Who knows what it is. And
Is it really a proper mansion if you don't have at least 5 or 6 different studies?
exactly. She lives in a manor on top of the National Archives. It's
God, I wish that were
You
me.
know how it
It's
is.
her own little plane of oblivion.
She's a fancy, learned lady.
Yeah. And as you enter the room, for those of you that are not Hawk and Demir, you see a drow woman using a wheelchair, purpley skin, kind of bright blue eyes, and white hair pulled into a braid. And it appears that a servant has just brought out a tea platter, and then she's starting to pour some for Demir, and she kind of does a quick head count of you guys, and then says, welcome, would any of you care for a cup of tea?
I'm not thirsty, but thank you. I appreciate the gesture.
I'd love one, thank you.
Evie's kind of tucked behind Tobias, but she shyly nods. Just like, yes, please.
Demir is looking like she is looking really uncomfortable. And then when she sees that it is, oh my God, sorry, the cat is screaming. When she
Lean back
sees,
at him. Show him who's boss.
when she sees that Lish is not there, visibly relieved.
Playing peekaboo with the camera.
And Varhasa looks at Tobias, who hasn't spoken up yet in regards to tea.
I'm good for the moment, but thank you.
She nods and pours a cup each for Erin and Levy, and kind of holds them out. And she says, "Pleasure to meet you all. I am Archivist Varhasa."
It's a pleasure to meet
Yeah.
you.
And I'm gonna like get a hand and then just take tea instead of say shaking her hand. Kind of awkwardly, like, oh yeah.
How do I grab this? You're kind of holding the handle.
Pretty much.
And you guys see it too, the lunar moth flying around the room, kind of landing on different things, and then taking up and maybe going near some of the candles, and then flying around some more.
Levy's kind of enraptured with the moth.
Varhasa notices.
Oh,
and
enraptured.
says, that is Nalula, by the way. Do any of you speak Undercommon?
Hawk probably wishes he did.
All right.
I don't think I do.
Do not.
I'll put the name down there too.
Alrighty-o. Nalalar, okay.
So, your companion here, and she gestures to Demir, she was telling me that, well, she was requesting access to some of the upper floors of the archives, those that are not always open to the public. However, I would be willing to grant you access to the upper floors of the archives if you would be willing to do me a bit of a favor.
Of course.
I'm still curious what this favor could be, considering, well, you are an archivist, and I doubt that any books that you might be requiring would require adventures to go find.
The thing is, I am waiting on a book from Lord Athenaeum of Umlal, but he's gone rather quiet lately. I've tried many times to get into contact with him. I've sent him messages both by courier and by magic, but he hasn't responded to any of them, which is quite unlike him. To be frank, I'm growing concerned.
Is our task to go and check in on him then?
If you'd be willing to do so.
Of course, yeah. Hope nothing's happened.
Yeah, I'm concerned. He's a man that's quite fond of correspondence. And it's quite unlike him to be this silent.
Vivi's like very wrapped with this that she speaks up and asks, are you two friends or close at all?
Well, let's just say he'd like to be.
Oh. Oh, I know
Something.
exactly the
I'd
type.
rather leave it at that. That bastard won't leave me
She
alone.
kind
in
of
the end.
nods and looks very like thoughtful. She's
He's
having a thonk.
he's a little more focused on certain things that do not particularly appeal to me. And he's rather boastful. But that is not... I don't know.
She's literally just like thinking, like she's puzzling something out in her head.
Are any of you drinking the tea?
Yes.
Levy's been sipping on her tea.
I'm also
It's
sipping.
really good tea. It tastes like hibiscus.
Oh,
Good.
hibiscus tea fucks.
Aaron just like, I have no idea how you properly drink tea and feel like I need to be drinking properly now.
Your friend Demir was implying that you are a proper group. Do you have a name for your group? Most adventuring groups, in my experience, do.
Do we?
Probably just go like look around to the rest of the group. Like,
I'm gonna turn to Hawk, actually. I have reasons. And, like, do we?
That's a good question. Maybe we should work on it. I doubt that any name we come up with on the spot will be one we'll be willing to keep.
Levy's kind of looking around at everybody and kind of speaks up, and she's like, not to exclude you, Hawk, but the rest of us kind of woke up in a field. And she's like, maybe we could do something with that? I don't know.
Field Hawks. We're all fields, and he's Hawk.
Now, listen, I don't think we should credit the name of the entire group to one person, much less the one who basically showed up on the street yesterday. I do appreciate the suggestion, though.
This is so stupid, and Demir is not actually suggesting this, but like, we need to do something with flower power.
That's really good, actually.
I have got an amazing idea then, but I do not think that it would be a good time to put it out. Because I don't know if Hawk would have this idea.
Fair enough.
Hey man, stupid ideas are still ideas. Remember,
know,
the Mighty Nine was suggested because they kept rolling nines that day.
Should I pitch it out of character?
Fucking Levy loves flowers, so she might come up with it if it's
Okay,
but
can I pitch it out of character just real quick?
Yeah, go for
right.
it.
What about the wild roses?
Oh, that's kind of bitchin' though.
Like Levy likes flowers.
What about the
Does
flower
Demir-
buds? Because we're all buds.
But then we have to change it if the party polycule happens, because we can't just bro zone each other like that.
Excuse
Like,
you, when
listen.
we all get together, the buds finally bloom.
Listen, like,
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
but like, listen, it's perfect because like Demir and Lish have Feywild ties. Levy likes flowers. Aaron's a barbarian, and Hawk's also got some wilderness theming. Tobias has definitely been bitten by a wolf or something.
Or something.
And
Says
Bee
you.
is a bee, and she pollinates flowers, I guess.
I guess.
I'm like trying to decide if Levy would like suggest that.
We'll think on it. We'll workshop it.
I think she would.
Which one?
I honestly both of them. Can I
Flower
like?
buds or wild roses?
I think she'd toss out both of those. as like an idea if we really like them.
I really like them.
I'm a fan of both of them, honestly, but I might be a little biased because I did suggest one.
I'm a little more partial to the wild roses.
Same. It's
Wild
really,
rose.
really
Such a
good.
group. Such a good group name.
And we're a Portland-based group too, so.
Hey!
It's out.
Sounds like a motorcycle gang, which is rad.
Yes.
Kind of-
Hell
Wild
yeah!
roses
Next thing
it
you
is.
know, Lish is gonna come back to the archives with seven like
On a
embroidered jackets.
motorcycle.
All right.
Motorcycle jackets for us.
Yeah.
Screw it.
And it has the flower buds on it.
If you guys knew how badly I want Lish to be able to create clothing magically, it's a problem.
Are the people who recommended the names like okay with Levy like presenting them?
I'm cool with that.
Doesn't matter.
Should we maybe? Well, I don't know if Ashlyn's awake, but we should probably gauge her interest in one or the other.
Yeah.
That was the question.
Is she awake? Do you know if she's awake?
She hasn't existed yet, so.
I think I'm
All right.
seeing her online. Let me.
We can
She's
tell the
she's
archivist that we're
do not
thinking
disturb,
about it.
but she is looking online.
Okay. You tell
wait.
Varhasa that you're thinking about it.
Wait. I was gonna say something. I was waiting for us to stop. Like,
Oh, go for it
go
then.
No, go for it.
okay. After like a few seconds of Levy kind of muttering under her breath, and obviously we can still decide to be like, oh, we're gonna think about it, but like obviously we're like actually thinking about it. She's muttering under her breath and like, I'm gonna say draconic for a second, and then she kind of rolls her shoulders in like a shrug, and goes, I mean, how do we feel about rosebuds or wild roses? Because we all woke up in a field and we're friendly with each other enough for I don't know, some of us are a little wild. And she kind of like glances and gives like she gives Erin the side eye just a little bit.
Erin's just gonna strike a pose.
Wild roses sounds poetic enough.
I am a bit partial to wild roses, but we needn't decide right now, of course.
Of course. For now, I will inform the other archivists of the presence of the wild roses, but if you decide that doesn't fit in the future, just let me know and that's easily remedied. Do you all know where you're going?
Uvila's
And
to
that
the
would be
west, isn't it?
appreciated.
Look.
That we know where we are at any point in time.
Do I, the DM, know where I am? No.
Do you, the DM, or us, the players, know anything? Fat chance.
Nothing going on up here right now. Just saying.
This campaign doesn't actually exist.
Do you have a map we could borrow, perhaps?
Perhaps that would probably be the lower levels. If you ask any of the archivists down there, they would be glad to help you. But Uvila is to the west. It is near the mountain range. And then Umla Estate is just to the south of that.
Very well then.
Thank you.
Phoebe does write those vague directions down in the notebook she just seems to always fucking have.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you.
Of course. And if you need anything else from me, let me know, and I will do my best to try to assist. This is a great help to me, and I really appreciate it.
Nice. Always happy to help. I hope that we can bring you back.
Can I get those of you that are there to roll an insight check?
Sito.
Roll to notice her fourth arm. That
Her third eye. 15.
12.
9.
11.
So those of you that what'd you get, Tim?
There we go. A 7.
7. Well, okay. Those of you that got above a 10,
Oh.
you looking at her kind of scratches something in the back of your head, sort of in the same way that you guys felt when you woke up in the field together or when you met Hawk. Like, you feel like you should know this person, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Hawk sort of acknowledges this physically by bringing the hand up to his head.
Levy's kind of rubbing the back of her neck in like a nervous gesture and like shakes her head and then kind of just it tries to shake the feeling off, like bodily.
Okay.
He's gonna sprout a little, and he's actually gonna like tense up a little bit and get forward a bit. Honestly, it's as if like, confused.
Right.
Bryce
shall we-
looks at the people who responded or reacted and stuff. A brow quirking up a little bit in confusion, like, did I miss something?
No, it's nothing.
I
They didn't say
accidentally
anything,
exited
did they?
roll 20. Oops.
What?
Who hasn't?
I'm just gonna...
Demir is going to turn to the group and just, well, should we get going? Do you have anything else to do in town?
I was about to suggest the same thing, but first we should find our errant...
find us.
Okay.
He said he would either meet us here or back at the tavern. Or not tavern, inn.
Right.
We don't need him. Let's just go.
That's...
And then I'm gonna
Oh.
turn
Demir.
towards Demir with that and actually like, I still completely have the Lion Agar, and I did not mention that in our last conversation. So I assume that's in an accessible place, and I'm just gonna like put out a little like, do you want to leave him?
Yes.
In the back. Okay.
I need to talk
Well,
to you guys.
let's go then.
All right then.
As we're all leaving, Levy kind of hangs back for like a second to give a very polite goodbye. And you said she was a drow?
Yes.
Okay. She says a very polite goodbye in Elvish as they leave.
Varhasa's face kind of brightens, and she returns the gesture in Elvish.
Levy kind of blushing though, as she like shuffles away and she's like very pleased.
Before we leave the archives, Demir is going to like kind of stop and like gesture over to the group. Like, I have something to tell you guys.
Hawk just stops on a dime.
Levy straightens up and is like,
He's like,
I have a
assume it's
feeling
about Lish.
I was about to say
Yeah.
the same.
whatever would give you that impression.
I know this is going to sound crazy. I think I'm kind of crazy sometimes too, but he's not one of us. He's a fairy.
Seems a little tall for a fairy.
Like
I thought that part was obvious.
I'm just gonna fiddle around
mean-
a bit with my hands.
He did admit to me yesterday that he wasn't from our plane.
He's not.
Earlier today, I meant.
He's a liar. And he'll trick you.
Well, I can't say I've gotten the best vibes from him.
Levy kind of comes up closer to Demir and like kind of offers her hand, and because she looks so like distressed and like uncomfortable, and Levy's just like offer comfort.
Demir is going to take Levy's hand in both of hers and just like kind of squeeze it for a minute.
Levy squeezes it back.
Is he dangerous?
Very.
Will he come after us if we take you away?
I don't think so. He's mainly interested in me. So as long as you are traveling with me, he'll be there. In some degree, watching.
Oh.
He stole my name and kidnapped me a couple months ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. I don't really know what to say.
It's fine. You don't need to say anything. But I don't want you guys to feel like you have to continue with this, and I don't want you guys going in unknowing.
Well, I want to. Erin, honestly, at this point, just looks pissed.
Oh boy.
Well,
I think there's.
at least I'm with you.
I feel
Tobias's expression. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. Tobias's expression is a mixed one. Like you can tell, there's some hurt there because there was the genuine, like, kind of bonding moment that he had with Lish, but it's also resignation of just like, the truth reveals itself as he anticipated.
Yeah.
I can't say that I saw this coming, of course, but I feel there's more to this group than a simple ragtag band. That feeling, that tingling feeling, did anyone else feel it when we were speaking
a few minutes ago?
with? Yes. Did anyone
Levy nods
else?
along.
Precisely. I feel I've never felt that feeling before a mere few days ago. I feel there's more to this than truly meets the eye.
Definitely, and
Demir, and he turns to Demir. We may not have known each other long, of course, but know that I stand with you. For the first time since he has joined the party, Hawk actually meets eyes with someone. Demir, if she's looking. And I would actually like to ask Demir to roll an insight check.
Oh boy. Because my insight is so good. That's a 18, actually.
I will give that to you. So for a moment you feel like you would gazing into the eyes of anyone else. You know that, like personally, in real life, like there's something when you like meet someone like eye to eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel that with Hawk. And it's a little unnerving, but he seems to mean well.
Well, I'm still not entirely convinced that you're not all here as for some sort of his doing. Although I'm beginning to suspect that it isn't actually his doing. What is that cat screaming about?
God, what a mood.
But
Alular is seen as
Um.
flying back up the stairwell.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm still not entirely convinced that that this isn't something to do with him.
well, I
And
didn't
just
know
want
him
you all
before
to
now,
know.
so who knows?
Baby!
Baby!
I love
Hi,
it.
Ashlyn.
Baby.
Wait, guys.
Hi.
Guys, it's the moment we talked about. Can she hear us?
No, she can't hear you.
Cannot? Or she cannot?
And
No.
Ah, damn it.
There you go.
Okay, there we go.
Hi.
Hey, you.
Hi.
You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Same as us. And that thief over there.
Shut up back there.
Bee
Worth it.
has to tell us what Bee thinks about the name choices.
Oh, that too.
Yes.
The Archivist asked us if we had a group name, and we were stuck between Wild Roses and Flower Buds.
Aw. I vote Flower Buds because we're buddies.
Buds.
Might have to do like an actual like
Poll.
a little
Yeah.
poll, little vote count later.
We can do that later. You know, I just wanted to start the naming process.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna get one at some point. Let's be real.
Yeah. I mean, every good adventuring party has a name.
Hell
Oh yeah,
course.
Ashlyn, super fast. The rat's on my shoulder right now, and she's bruxing for the first time, and that's when they like chatter their teeth because they're happy. She's-
Oh.
Good.
I'm like trying not to cry.
Um,
Good.
breakfast is ready on the table, so I should probably go eat that. I will be back.
Okay, cool. And we're about to switch to Lish's Pav.
I
Cool, cool.
also wanted to say one last thing to Demir.
I'll
Yeah,
probably
go for it.
watch the recording later to see what happens while I'm
Yeah.
going to eat. All right.
But after talks with him, says what he said to Demir, Tobias is gonna speak up, like step forward a little bit. Demir,
Yeah.
I may not have known you along with everyone else in this party for long, and I may not fully understand what you're going through. But I will do whatever I can to help you get free from this. I know what it's like being somewhere where you can't be happy. Know that I don't look very strong, but if it comes down to it, I'm willing to fight to protect you.
Amir just like, she reaches out one of her hands from on top of Levy's towards Tobias. If you take it, she's just going, thank you.
He will take it. He'll give it a reassuring squeeze.
Squeeze back. Thank you.
Seems dangerous. I've thought that pretty much the time, and I also make sure that no harm of his will come to you.
Thank you.
He's not safe to leave you, and I'm gonna ensure that it is.
He won't hurt me. I don't know how much he'll listen to me, but I don't think he'll hurt you guys, I have heard.
There are a lot of ways to hurt someone.
Yeah.
And if being here and if staying with you and with you means that I'm in I guess additional danger from him, then I'm here. I'm here all the way.
I'll hold on to that dagger.
Definitely. Yeah.
Anyway, we should get going.
All right.
Levy's still like holding one of Demir's hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
She kind of tightens her grip a little bit, and she's looking at her toes, and she's just like, before we go, if I could maybe speak to you in private for a second?
Yeah, sure. Demir will let go of Tobias's hand and turn to Levy and just lead the way.
She kind of leads Demir away to some secluded corner, assumingly among books. And she's like, I just, and she's very like physically nervous. She's taking her hand away as soon as like they're away from everybody, and her shoulders are drawn up to her ears. And she's trying to make herself as small as possible, and she's not making eye contact. And she's like, I'm not exactly human myself. It's a long story, but I do have she kind of waves her hand trying to look for her words, and she's like, I'm kind of used, and she does the head tilt like she's not sure of it, if that's like quite the right word, with a spirit. So I understand if maybe you don't want, if that makes you uncomfortable, I'd rather not be here and in the way at all.
No. I mean, do you want help with that?
She shakes her head. She's like, no, it's fine. It's a circumstance thing, and I really don't mind it. It's just, I didn't want to be. Your safety is important. All of our safety is important, and if I was at all making you feel unsafe, if I was going to make you feel unsafe, or if if this came out in like a bad way, she kind of shuffles. She's like, I've faced the consequences before, and well, you shared your secrets with us, so I didn't want to keep secrets from you.
Well, you are spirit touched, and I'm a fairy bride, so I think we are on pretty equal footing here.
Levy kind of like reaches out to like take her hand again, and is like nodding, and now she's looking up, not exactly making eye contact, but she looks visibly relieved, and she's smiling, and she's like, just because he's been kind to me before doesn't mean that I think he's, above reproach, or that, he may not have been pretending. And if he is a threat, I'm here for you.
Thank you. And Demir's just going to kind of squeeze her hand a little and just, I'm glad, honestly. The first time I told anyone, they thought I was completely mad.
Don't worry.
I mean, it doesn't help that I was in a ball gown in the middle of the woods, but
don't worry. I'm never going to think you're I'm never going to call you crazy. She kind of laughs a little self-depreciatingly and says, I mean, I figure you've picked up by now that I'm a little crazy myself, so I understand.
You're a good person.
Oh, she's like, she flushes and she's just like, oh, thank you. Like, she's not used to compliments, like, at all.
Well, that's it. Let's get back to the group.
Leaving nods and like goes back with her, and she's all chipper.
And with that, we turn our attention towards Lish.
Lish time.
What you doing?
I'm going to Temple Row. Hooray. Here
All
we
right.
go.
So, you leave the National Archives and start making your way towards Templetown. And as you are walking, there are people here and there on the street. Of course, it's a city. That's how it works. But as you're walking, a little tiny flower pixie flutters up to you.
Is it one that I recognize?
Yes, it is.
Do I see the others?
Vettel leads you to a little alleyway where Gree and Bright Mellow are sitting on Erin's battle axe.
Right. Oh God, I have to.
It's on the ground. It looks kind of like they just dropped it there. And they're like,
they're just like fucking just.
They dropped it. It's heavy. They're tiny. Like, let's draw straws to see who's gonna go get Lish.
The tiniest little straws.
Yeah. There's a couple of pine needles near them.
I'm so happy. I kind of gather them all up and I kind of give them little kisses and I say, very good job. I have them rest in my hair again and I kind of stand there and I look at the battle axe like, this is inconvenient. Can I lift it? How big is it?
How big is it, Erin?
Ooh, that is a question. Do I have this written down in my notes? It is like... Yeah, I think you can lift it.
My strength's an 11. Can I manage?
Yeah, it's kind of unwieldy for you, but you can pick it up just fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's the kind of thing where, like, anyone looking at you is gonna just notice. But you'll be fine.
It's like tucked away in a back alley though.
Currently, yeah.
You kind of get the impression that the pixies were like, we're pixies carrying this giant ass battle axe into the middle of a human city. We should probably stay out of sight. So they kind of went to a back alley and waited for you to pass nearby.
That happens like every Tuesday.
I'm going to actually have them stay with the battle axe and keep it hidden while I take care of this, and I will come back when I'm done.
Cool.
Okay.
Keep it secret, keep it safe. And just let me know if anybody tries to get at it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, and
So you pluck them out of your hair again and put them back on the battle.
Sorry, fellas. Just a little while longer and then you can rest.
All right.
Yep. And I am looking for a very specific temple. Lish doesn't know what temples are on this row, so I'm just gonna go kind of up and down, see what I can find.
There is so looking around, you see some temples to some of the popular deities. There's temple to Joaquin, the goddess of trade. That's by far the largest temple. There's also 6 other temples just on this road. They're conveniently grouped together so that visitors to the town for trade would be able to find a deity that they're looking for. There's one to Saloon, Soon, Gond, Helm, Shanti, and Tempest.
He stands there frustrated. Kind of hands on his hips like, fuck. Who's the fucking closest? Let me think. Okay, so he's gonna go over to the Saloon's temple.
Saloon's temple, it's kind of interesting looking at it. It looks like it's made out of polished marble, but the marble itself is sort of a midnight blue. And there are little kind of smaller sparkles in it that are supposed to look like stars. And there are 2 columns out front, each of which have little vining roses actually going up them. And the entrance is very welcoming. There's kind of curtains pulled aside, creating a open air archway so that you can enter.
Yeah, I will head inside. See if there's like a big altar or something.
There's not quite an altar, but heading inside, it's sort of like a coliseum in a way, but much smaller. In the very center of a room, the room is round. Very center of the room, there is a clear water pool with benches surrounding it, and on the benches there are copies of Saloon's holy book, and the roof is domed. In the very top of the dome, right above the pool of water, it's open air, so that you can imagine that if you visit this temple at night on a full moon, it's just gorgeous. The moonlight just shining through and shining on the pool and lighting everything up. And there are a few people in there. A few of them look like commoners, but you see a older half-elf woman with dark skin and kind of wild gray curly coily hair, and she's wearing like really fine robes, and next to her is a younger human man who's wearing robes of the same color and design but not nearly as fancy.
Sorry to butt in here, since I'm a little late. Am I there?
Nobody's there.
This is a solo Lish mission. Also, I'm back.
Lish snuck off on his own.
Can I roll to have noticed that?
It was made clear, actually.
Yeah, well,
The archives.
Lish is out right
If
now.
you were by me, you
No
would've
roll
seen
needed.
it. I told Tobias to look after Demir while I was gone.
And Tobias in turn told us that Lish is out doing something, and he'll return to either the archives or the inn.
Stuff to do in town.
Shopping trip. Lish.
What?
It's okay if the answer is no. I'm just trying to figure things out here.
The answer is
Can I roll
yes.
stealth to have kind of tagged along?
Ooh.
Sure.
Because B doesn't really care about the archives.
You want to see I noticed you.
Was to read some dusty
Probably.
books.
Sure. You know what? Since he came in late, I can say, well, I'll tell you what. I'll have you make a series of roll perception retroactive to see if you noticed Lish leaving in the first place.
All right.
That's
10.
You could also go with passive perception, probably, but I'm not the DM.
I mean,
Didn't make it.
That's true. My passive perception is 13.
I mean, Lish, you weren't really trying to be stealthy about
I
it.
wasn't. Everybody told everybody right after, so.
Yeah. It's mostly about seeing if you got like a 5 or lower.
Fair enough.
Whether or not you can sneak after me without me noticing is another thing.
Yeah.
Like 21 passive perception.
Yeah, how's your stealth?
Roll stealth.
Pretty good, actually.
Okay.
I say that, and then I'm gonna roll terribly, but
I mean, that's how it
oh yeah, natural one.
Oh no, we jinxed it.
I'm gonna say, since we already went through Lish finding the battle axe and stuff, since you rolled a 1, you kind of try to follow Lish out of the archives, and as soon as you step outside, where the fuck did he go? He's gone.
Lost in a crowd.
Damn, the assassin's blending in.
Yeah. So you lose Lish immediately.
Only a natural 1.
Listen. Every protagonist of Assassin's Creed is also sort of a visual eyesore in terms of blending in, but no one can find one.
There was a reason in the first one, and then they were like, let's just keep dressing
Keep
like
them
that.
white, yeah.
B, do you head back into the archives with everyone else so you can talk to the pretty drow lady, or do you find one of the gardens nearby? B?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay. I can't see your face, so.
That's fine. What would B do? B, that is the temple that the gnome guy told me about, right?
Yeah.
B does want to go to that. But if she lost Lish, then she would go inside and find a member of the party to tell where she's going and why, so as not to be a jerk.
Okay. In that case, I'll tell you when you're ready to come in. So moving back to Lish.
All right.
Now, you see the high priestess and what appears to be an acolyte.
Is there like an obvious area that people seem to be like praying? Like there's a prayer area. I'm looking around kind of like, I don't know what to do in a place like this.
Well, looking around, you can see some of the people, the commoners that are there, sitting on the benches that are surrounding the pool, facing the pool, and kind of just closing their eyes and praying. And looking at them, you kind of notice that most of them are elves and halflings.
Mm-hmm. Does there appear to be a place to leave offerings?
People have left little offerings, coins, and trinkets near the edge of the pool.
Okay, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over to the edge of the pool. I'm gonna kind of like look at this fountain, kind of look up into the hole, into the sky. I'm gonna kind of tilt my head, kind of thinking about it. And then I'm going to kneel in front of the fountain I'm going to slide one of the rings off of my fingers, and I'm going to set it down on the edge of the fountain. I'm going to say, Lady Saloon, I know that we are not close with one another. But I've always seen you as someone who looks over my people as much as you look over other realms. I need to get in touch. I need to get in touch with Ariel. I need to plead with her. I have questions that need to be answered. I need to know if this punishment is something I'm going to be able to fix, or if that woman plans on trying to keep me this way.
Roll a persuasion check.
It's a 15.
15? Okay. You sense something. It's hard to really describe it, and you can't quite put a name to it, but you can sort of sense an acknowledgement in a way.
Always done what I thought was right. Broke no vows, and I swore no oaths that I did not keep. To be punished for something that I did not earn. It's not fair to me nor to any of my people. If you could help me contact her, I would appreciate it. I don't have any way to currently, as you can tell. I can't keep the people safe that I need to keep safe. He just kind of sits there on the water's edge, just waiting.
Roll me a religion check. This is just to see what you know.
That's a 13.
13. I mean, you don't know too much about Saloon, but you know that she's a goddess of moonlight, and it is daytime right now. So if you're going to get something, you would either have to come back at nighttime or receive a message in a dream.
We were at the bathhouse for quite some time. I mean, what time of day is it?
It's like late afternoon. Bless you.
Sorry, I'm just debating whether or not I would stay that long. Yeah, I think I'd wait.
So, after you've been there for a little while, are you still kneeling by the edge of the pool, or do you go over to one of the benches or on the near the corners of the rooms? There are little pillows where people can sit and meditate.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would be kind of like impatient. I'd probably be like a little pacing.
Okay.
I'd probably pace for a bit and then go and return to the water side, kneel for a while, get back up, kind of pace around the pool, kind of pace around the building, wait some more.
Okay. So let's say about 10-15 minutes of this. B, you enter the temple and you see Lish by this pool of water, kneeling, just silently, and then get up and start pacing around the pool.
Yes, quiet meditate.
Kind of just like
violently starts power walking.
Yeah.
He's very much like, I'm fucking stuck here until the moon rises.
B will make a note of it, but not interrupt whatever it is that Lish is doing.
Whatever that.
Pacing, mostly.
And B will go over to the, I mean, do I see the same description for the sake of
Yes, you do.
Okay. I go over to the well-dressed half-elven woman, and B will sign. Good day. Am I to understand that you speak in hands as I do?
And when you approach her, you can tell that she's very old. She's an old lady. The acolyte that's there is probably there not only to help be her interpreter, but also to help her stand up if she needs it.
Honestly valid.
She's an old lady, and she's been doing this for a while, but she kind of looks at you and she blinks, and she kind of smiles a little bit, and she signs back, "Oh, welcome to my temple, young one."
Thank you for your hospitality. And she's signing all this, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
She will gesture to Lish's furious pacing in the background, and will sign. That one hasn't given you any trouble, has he?
She thinks for a minute and says, "No, he is merely impatient. He does not wish to ask for help."
That doesn't surprise me to hear. So long as he's not disrupting those who would choose to be here.
He is not. Are you a follower of she who walks in the moonlight?
Not as such, no. But I have great respect for her, and I too know what it is to look up at the sky and worship.
You are a holy woman yourself?
I am. And she'll kind of puff out her breast to show off the badly painted cloud on her breastplate of a Katie.
Our Lady of Silver welcomes others who worship the sky.
And Bee will bow and say, "It's an honor to be here in her temple."
Do you wish to commune?
Bee will sign, "Not presently, though I may come back when the sky is dark. For the time being, I was wondering if you would be able to tell me anything about this city that might be good to know."
There are many things that I could tell you. I spend most of my time here in the temple, along Temple Town. However, there are the archives, which can provide information for you. There's the market, where you, if you have a good enough ear, you may hear things. Or so I am told.
Makes sense. I'm here in town looking to help people. I seem to have found myself in a group of curious individuals who all need something. And she'll look over her shoulder at Lish again, that one included. And it's been difficult thus far getting them to work together.
Are you asking for advice on how to create cooperation?
Mostly commiserating, I suppose. Though if you did have advice, of course, it would be most appreciated.
I find in running this temple that I cannot help those who do not allow me to do so. If I would recommend trying to learn of their goals and offer information about yourself in return. People are more likely to trust you with their own secrets if they know more about you.
You are very wise, miss.
And she smiles again at that. And she kind of stops signing and reaches a hand towards you and looks like she's asking for permission to do something.
Bee will offer a hand as well for her to take.
She takes her hand and kind of gestures with her other hand, and she casts guidance on you.
Bee will squeeze her hand and bow her head appreciatively and cast guidance back on her.
All right.
Awesome.
You are too kind, though I fear I've gotten ahead of my manners. What is your name?
I am High Priestess Asayanga.
A beautiful name. It is good to meet you.
It is good to meet you as well, young one.
I am called Bee, and while your advice rings true, it is difficult to share secrets of yourself with those who cannot hear your voice.
I understand your plight. I have had trouble communicating myself in time, being one who cannot speak nor hear. However, if your friends are literate, perhaps that could help. Otherwise, perhaps you could find an interpreter. Perhaps you could even teach your friends sign speech.
It is so. It is so. I believe I shall make my friends' time waiting here more pleasant for the time being, but I appreciate your conversation and your advice greatly.
Of course, and you are welcome in my temple anytime you wish to return to Opius.
Thank you. And Bee will do a little bow and then walk over to Lish.
Had I noticed Bee up until then? I assume I had. Probably.
Yeah, your passive perception is insane, so yes. Even if you've got your own shit going on,
I'm so fucking bored. I'm like reading all the inscriptions on the walls, even though I probably can't understand them.
You're like at this point debating whether you can get away with throwing things into the pool.
Did you have a nice chat? Did you follow me here? Sneaky.
Bee will get out one of her papers and write. I wanted to see where you were going, but lost track of you very quickly. It seems we had the same destination nonetheless.
What a coincidence. I didn't know what my destination was going to be before I found it. Although I have contemplated over the many hours now going and finding another end of... Alas, we make commitments.
Contemplating?
Heavily.
And she's kind of smirking at you. You did not seem to be in quiet contemplation when she got here.
Contemplating heavily. Yes. And yourself? Are you here to pray?
Conversation.
Are you a worshiper of Saloon? No?
No.
What do you make of it then? Kind of looking around the whole room, the open air.
And Bee will write. It's a pretty building, though feels a bit mundane. I imagine it gains a touch of magic when the moon is out.
I'm sure it glows. He kind of looks a little tired. But he tilts his head towards you and says, you know, I've always been rather fond of her. She has quite a thing for wolves.
Saloon?
Just nods.
And Bee will write. To be honest, I've never understood the appeal of temples like this.
Oh?
I think one's connection to their deity is very personal and private, and taking part in a public spectacle like this to worship is foreign to me.
I can see that.
I came to know my goddess through, and she pauses for a bit and looks at you, and then finishes the sentence. A window in my bedroom growing up.
The window. How did that happen? Just came and perched by your bedside.
No.
Who do you worship?
He will look up through the sky hole as well, and she will write in. She has pretty good handwriting, but she'll write in like extra fancy letters.
Satan.
She'll write extra fancy letters. A Katie.
Does that mean anything to me, DM?
Roll a religion check.
There's too many fucking gods. Let's just like, oh, jeez. I thought knowing like 3 was enough. Religion check. Let's see here. Ooh, not bad. That's a 17.
17? Yeah, you would know that Akadi is known colloquially as the Queen of Air. She's sort of like an embodiment of the element of air, and goddess of elemental air and speed and different flying creatures. And part of her domain is like freedom and travel, and part of her teachings are like having her followers move as much as possible from place to place and activity to activity.
Seems wonderful.
And at this point, the sun is starting to go down, and it's not quite fully down yet. So the light kind of shining in from the ceiling hole is more orange and yellow. And it's at this point that the high priestess starts kind of going around and starting to light incense sticks around the room with the help of her interpreter.
Lish kind of sits there watching. Asks Bee, do you know how to fly, Bee?
No. And she will write on a piece of paper. My race once flew and spoke, and now it does neither.
I'd like to make that happen for you someday. we can fly together. Not yet. And he kind of sits back. Just kind of stares at the fucking fountain.
And as the two of you sit together, the sun goes down further and it starts to be more dusky. And as the clouds move aside, the moon is not quite full. It's just above a quarter moon.
Gibbous.
Or a half moon, I mean. And
Waxing gibbous.
the light is shining down through the ceiling hole, and it's making the little starlight specks in the stone walls just shine so much brighter, and the moon is shining onto the pool itself, illuminating the whole room, and mixed with the scent of the incense that the high priestess had lit. And at this point, a couple of other acolytes come out from the back of the temple and kneel near the pool and start singing hymns. And they're kneeling, they have their arms raised above them towards the moon. And they start these hymns, and after a verse or two, they stand up and start to dance near the pool.
Lish kind of bumps Bee slightly in the shoulder and just kind of whispers, "I told you it would glow."
Bee will write. Do you like the smell of incense?
Depends on the incense.
Personally, this one's a bit strong for me.
On the contrary, the more that it makes your head spin, the better.
Hey man, if you're looking for drugs, you have to look closer to the docks.
You don't need drugs to have a good time. Are they like crowding kind of around the pool now and everything? I wouldn't probably be able to really get over to where I had been sitting initially.
They're not really crowding. They were more doing the ritual, and once the ritual wraps up, they move closer towards the edges and sort of sit and meditate. A couple of them have their feet actually in the pool.
Nasty foot water.
But yeah, if you wanted to go to the spot where you had been kneeling before, you can. Absolutely.
If they'll let me get by.
Yeah. They're used to people coming here to pray. They're not gonna be like, ew, what's this elf doing here?
Fucking body check them out of the way.
You can't join our club.
You can't sit with us.
Not our foot.
Actually, I can't sit anywhere.
Join a cult. God. Be cool. Join a cult.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit over where my offering lies and just sit. I'm not gonna restate, at least at first, what I came here for.
Okay. Do you touch the pool at all?
I mean, if it seems that that's kind of what is calling me to do, I don't really know how to do it.
Roll a wisdom check.
That's a natural 19, 23.
Natural 19, yeah. You sort of get the urge to at least make contact with the water in some way.
Kind of sigh and very kind of hesitantly reach out and swish my hand in the water.
The water, it's very odd because it doesn't exactly feel like water. When you stick your hand in, it feels like you've put your hand into open air. And that air is very cold. And this kind of coldness is familiar to you.
Is it? Can I put my other hands into the water? I'm not entirely certain.
It's the same thing. It feels like your hands are outside and somewhere cold.
Does it feel like home?
It does.
Gonna try and get more into the water. I can't.
Stick your entire head underwater. It's
I'm not sticking my head underwater. Well, at least I don't know.
Not yet.
I don't know about that with all the feet in here. I don't know. Yeah, no, okay. I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna kind of concentrate. And if I don't kind of feel anything kind of coming over me or anything, just by kind of meditating with my hands in the water, I will put my head underwater and just kind of see what happens.
So no one stops you from putting your hands in the water. In fact, B, you would notice this. The high priestess is kind of looking at Lish, and she's got a very knowing expression on her face.
Please stop him if he's making a fool of himself. He doesn't know what he's doing.
So you have your hands in the water, and if you lean forward until your face breaks the water, and it feels the same. It's very cold, and you actually feel a couple of snowflakes land on your face.
Can I push down farther? Do my hands hit like the basin of this pool?
They do. It's a very odd feeling because it feels like home, but it feels like you're touching a basin of the pool.
I kind of pull my head out of it, with my hands on the basin of the pool, and I just kind of pull out slightly with my hands still in there, and I just say, this is cruelty to me. Is the point of this? Phantasm of home that is not. He just kind of pulls back after waiting for a bit and kind of sits back on the edge of the pool. Wipes the water from his face.
Roll an intelligence check.
14. We only got so much of that.
As you sit by the edge of the pool, kind of ruminating on what you felt there, it feels it. Well, you think of the feeling on the snow on you and around you in the cold air, and you get sort of an inkling that there's still a connection there.
In the water, or like myself to
You.
the snow? Like I'm still connected to the plane.
Yes. It's just an inkling in the back of your head.
Can I try to cast any kind of like portal magic that I know? Any kind of transportation magic?
You
I kind of try and pull at that connection. Does anything happen?
no.
Just kind of smack my hands on the basin of on the edge of the fountain in frustration.
A couple of the priests look at you in alarm.
So what does this? It doesn't answer how I'm getting back. Just because I'm not severed does not mean that I'm not.
Is this out loud or just in your head?
Oh, he's saying it out loud.
Okay.
How do I get back? It's like tears start rolling down his face. And he just looks so, I don't know, frustrated and confused.
Bee will kind of come up behind him and not touch him, but like kind of reach out a hand to like almost touch his shoulder, and will make a soft cooing noise.
Just kind of rolls his shoulders slightly and just like does not want to be comforted, it seems.
He will take back her hand and take a step back, but like look concerned.
Do not know how to fix this if I don't get any guidance. Don't know what you want. How can I make a deal with you? Or is this my punishment to just sit here and rot with everything just out of my grasp?
The priests are kind of giving you space. They can tell you're going through something here, and they're letting you kind of ruminate. The high priestess, she's standing towards the back of the temple, and she's just kind of watching. By this point, most of the commoners have left to go home for the evening, so it's mostly just the priests there, you and Bee.
He'll probably just sit there and wait and watch the water for a while, but when it kind of seems like, I don't know, he after a while kind of wants to chase the feeling of the snow in the water, and he puts his hand back in and sees if it's still there.
It's still there. Bee, do you do anything with the water, or are you just observing Lish?
Bee has been writing something.
Okay.
This is Lish's thing, and she doesn't want to interrupt.
I mean, yeah, he's probably gonna sit until the moonlight fades, or until he gets too fucking frustrated to sit there anymore and just can't sit with his own thoughts any longer.
Bee will, after Lish has been just kind of sitting there for a while, Bee will come and not say anything, but come and sit next to him and put her feet in the water.
When you put your feet in the water, it feels different to you. It feels more like air rushing around you, like you're flying somewhere really fast, but only on your feet. It's kind of a weird feeling.
Like when a dog sticks its head out the window, but just
exactly. Yeah. But not like uncomfortably fast. You're not getting foot whiplash. It's like a comfortable.
Bee will just kind of wiggle her toes and ponder this and not say anything, but just sit, at the edge of Lish's vision, just there if he needs her.
Yeah, I think if he notices Bee come up and put her feet in the water, he'll remove his hand and kind of swallow and look over to her. Looks up at the skylight. I don't think that there's anything else to be gained here.
Bee will offer a rolled up piece of paper to Lish.
I'll take it. Does it say something on it?
It says, sometimes it's all the gods can do to reassure us that what we've been pining after still remembers us as well. And it has a surprisingly detailed sketch of a bee.
Just kind of sighs, rolls the paper up. Hands it back to her. I hate pining.
You will put the paper away and get back out the original piece of paper that she had been writing on earlier. And she will write, I lied to you before. It wasn't my bedroom. And certainly didn't have windows.
Oh.
I think the more accurate thing to call it would be prison.
I knew you were quite sassy. I didn't realize that you were criminally sassy.
No.
What were you in prison for?
No.
Nothing? But you're here now.
She will write, wherever you're trying to escape to, you'll get there. And gives him the paper, then withdraws her feet from the water, signs something up at the sky hole, and stands up.
You misunderstand, Bee. I'm not trying to escape. I'm trying to go home. He stands to.
Bee will offer a hand.
Take it and stand and just sigh and say I had hoped to find some answers here, but gods, try our patience. He just looks so fucking mad. But the pixies are back. I need to go retrieve them. And I'm gonna go and leave.
You will follow silently. Sure. We will actually continue holding your hand unless you specifically let go.
He won't disengage.
So I know the rest of the party was prepared to leave without Lish. But
he's not here and he's holding her down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, noticing that Bee's not there.
We might want to wait around, yeah.
I mean, I did say earlier that before I left, I found someone and told them where I was going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't wanna
We probably wouldn't want to leave without you.
Lish told Tobias that he'd meet them back either at the inn.
I go to the archives first because that's where.
Okay.
Can I feel Demir from here?
No. That is unless Demir went back, tried to get back into the fancy hotel room instead of the tavern where everyone else is staying.
No, I'd follow the group.
I'd imagine so.
No way, you guys are reporting another night, honestly. We are not rich.
Look, it's called fake it till you make it, and
I don't think you can fake 8 gold pieces without getting thrown in jail.
It's been working great so far.
Oh my god, Ruby.
Yeah, when you get back to the archives, it's closed. It's nighttime.
That's fine. I'm having the pixies carry the battle axe.
Okay. They're tired, but they're doing it.
They're really fucking powerful and strong little people, and they're gonna be so highly rewarded. I promise them, and I say to them, like, you're gonna be so rewarded. It's gonna
I had rolled for them to see how fast they could get that back to you, and they rolled like a 19. So I'm like, okay.
Damn.
Okay, they're gonna be speedy pixies carrying this enormous battle axe.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Talented little fellows.
But yeah, you get back to the archive and it's closed for the evening. You can actually see some lights in the upper levels where you assume the archivist, whom you have not met, is going about her business.
I'm gonna make my way over to the inn then.
All right. What are the rest of you guys been doing at this point in the evening? It's a nice, cheerful atmosphere. People are chilling. There's there are a couple of dudes like betting that they can beat anyone in the tavern in a arm wrestling contest. And
well, Demir kind of wanted to get out of town, but when it was clear that Bee had gone off, it's like, okay, we can wait for her, I guess. Oh, by the way, guys, I forgot that I had these. When we were poking around the graveyard, I found these, and I'm going to pull out the goggles. And our friend at the graveyard said that these make it so if you can't see in the dark, you can. I know that there are quite a few of us who have difficulties with that, so I wanted to offer it to the group.
May I see those for a moment?
Goggles on over the mask.
Yeah, I'm going to hand them over, but the way Demir was kind of talking to them, she kind of had turned her back a little to Hawk when she was talking about it. Just a little bit, but she does hand it over.
Right, Hawk sort of like gently takes them, looks at them for a bit in his hand, and then as Ashlyn friggin' called it, because I was actually planning on doing this the moment it was mentioned, just like puts the goggles up to like the eye holes of his mask for a moment, doesn't even like put them on properly, then takes them off and says, "I think I'll pass." hands
Put
them
them
back.
underneath the mask. You have to put them on the go.
Listen, if you want that mask off, you're gonna have to convince him. Good luck doing that. Not to say you couldn't try. We still got a half hour.
Let's see. I believe the daisy chain was Bee, Levy, Tobias, and Demir, right? In the caves.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Bee's not here. And Levy is AFK.
So it's
So I
between-
guess it's between Tobias and Demir.
Arm wrestle for him.
I think Tobias would win, but feel free to prove me wrong.
I mean, do you want to arm wrestle?
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
Or would you rather tongue wrestle?
Oh God, no.
Ah.
I
Are
am
you-
done for all sorts of wrestling.
Are you sure that arm wrestling around those two is a good idea? And Hawk gestures to the two boastful men in the tavern who are very arm wrestle happy, I guess.
Why not?
I'm good without the arm wrestle. Although I suppose it comes down to how
You
well.
do have keen eyes.
Thank you. How well do you believe your aim is in the dark?
Not good. But you have to see further to hit a target, I imagine.
If I'd like to believe that I am a good enough shot. Therefore, you may get more use out of them.
Okay.
A spell
Well,
will
if
hit harder than an arrow anyway.
I suppose I don't have any particular attachments to this item. If it is necessary, we can always switch.
I'm alright with that.
All right, I will keep them. And I'm going to spend however long I need to attune to them. Or do I need to attune to them?
I think they're called the Goggles of Night. Yeah.
I don't think I need to attune to
I
them.
don't think you need to attune. Yeah, it just says that you have dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, wearing goggles increases its range by 60 feet.
Excellent. Well, I will keep them then.
Okay.
Put them on.
I was making a fuss.
Yeah, she's being a little fussy.
Anyone else want to accomplish anything before Lish and Bee show up?
Anything
I mean,
anyone
I
wants to
assume we
bug
can
someone else about?
If Tobias has the supplies for it, he can stitch together a book for Bee.
Were you making it for Bee or Levy? I can't remember.
Bee.
Yeah. I mean, let's say let's roll a dexterity check.
Okay. Oh, Toby. It's a 10.
It's kind of sloppy, but you managed to at least get the pages inside of the leather. It's not the prettiest leather-bound journal you've ever seen, but it's really the thought that counts.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I had enough time, I'd like try to fix it. But I feel that'd be kind of Oh my god. Yes. Hello. You have gone out. You wanted to come in here. And now you're getting upset. I've been doing everything that you've asked of me. Oh my god.
Why have you forsaken me?
So we'll say at this point, Lish and Bee come in and they're still holding hands.
Before I go in, I gesture to the pixies to not come in with us and instead go up onto the roof.
They do so. They're really tired, but they take the battle axe up there with them.
Yep. Poor thing.
I'll go inside.
All right. You guys see everyone else sitting at the table.
How does everybody look at me when I walk in? Because I look like I have had a hard day.
Yeah, I mean, Lish looks like he's been crying.
It's fine. I cleaned myself up. It's great.
Tobias is back to appearing tense.
He's back to what?
Appearing tense. A little rigid.
Hawk will at least look in Lish's direction, nod a little to acknowledge that he's come in, and then go back to basically doing nothing.
God, what a mood.
I'd love to interact with you, but I have a lot of nothing to be doing right now.
Demir has whatever cup. How much was a thing of ale again at the bar?
Let me check. I think it was like a silver piece, but I'm just gonna double check. Nope, 4 copper pieces.
Okay, I am going to have a cup of ale.
Okay.
Let me subtract that 4 copper. Yep. And I just kind of like when Lish walks in, looks a little like, oh shit, we missed our opportunity. And then when she gets a little closer of a look at him, just kind of like takes her ale and like
A long sip.
just kind of looking, doing that stare that she's been doing at him a few times. Doesn't say anything.
Bee will wave at Demir.
Herbie.
Hi.
You slightly missed it, but I found these goggles of night vision, helps you see in the dark. Do you want them? I could keep them. Yes or no?
She points at you and nods.
All right. Thank you. I swear I will figure out how to talk to you at some point.
When Bee comes up to the table, Tobias is going to pull out the book.
Thank you.
I'm sorry it's not as good as... Sorry it's not as good as I want it to be.
It's good. Thank you. And she will excitedly take it.
Lish won't quite get to the table before he's looking at Aaron and kind of crooking his finger at him. Aaron, the pixies have come back. If you'll join me outside.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm gonna hurry on over.
I am going to stand up and follow Aaron.
Wait.
And Lish will start walking outside.
Gonna follow that.
And he'll kind of, once we get out onto the, what, is there like a little front porch, something, where we can.
I mean, yeah, there's a space between the tavern and the road.
Yeah. And he'll kind of crook a finger at the pixies and kind of have them drop down a little bit, but still kind of staying out of arm's reach. And he'll look at Aaron and he'll kind of tilt his head slightly and say, you know, you owe my fairies, but more importantly, you owe me for bringing this back.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that my fairies will be very easy for you to please. You see, they've traveled so many miles, untold.
There's been a lot, and it seems like it seems like a difficult journey.
But I might not be as easy to please as the fairies.
Do you have anything in mind?
You know what I want, Aaron?
I can't say
what
that I
would
do.
love is I would love your sobriety. I would love never again for a dash of alcohol to pass your lips. No liquor, no drunkenness.
Understandable, given some of my behavior.
If you can hold yourself to that, we won't have a problem. If you cannot, well, there's a very lovely lake neighboring this town, and your battle axe may find its way to the bottom of it.
Great tragedy that would be indeed. Well, I suppose if it's a question of simply not saying the stuff when I have the opportunity or means to, then that can likely be avoided.
Likely or will?
Will.
Do you swear it to me?
I swear upon my ancestors.
Do you swear upon yourself?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Do you swear upon yourself?
I swear upon all my own means, all my own abilities, all my own decisions, intentions, whatever you have.
Swear it to me, Aaron.
To you, in recognition of this favor.
He gestures and has the pixies bring the battle axe down.
They kind of flutter down, unceremoniously kind of drop the battle axe near Lish and Aaron's feet. And they're tired, so they kind of just like go and flop on top of Lish's head.
He kind of catches one of them when they're like a little bit wobbly, kind of falling off. He kind of like situates them into his hair more thoroughly.
Demir had almost looked like she was about to say something or step between them when Lish had mentioned a deal. But once she had heard what he was asking for, she actually went and steps back.
Now, I do think that my friends here deserve some cream.
Cream.
And he kind of looks at Aaron expectantly.
Yeah, I will definitely cure that.
And Bright Mellow comes down to his ear and like tinkles a little in his ear, and he's just like, right, yeah, okay, yes. And and honey too.
Of course. Yeah, they deserve nothing less, so I'll see what I can find. Think for a second. And then looking at Lish the entire time, just gonna start heading in.
Lish kind of is looking at Demir and just kind of like raising his brows, like, is everything okay? I wasn't
Everything
gone
is
for
as it
that
is.
long. He was gone for a long time.
Yeah, he was gone almost all day.
Not long enough. And I'm going to go back inside.
He looks so fucking hurt when she says that. His ears just fall backward and he waits for her to go before following back inside.
So, Erin, if you want to mark down a silver piece to get some cream and honey.
Yes, I would
for the
love
pixies.
to.
I assume you all make your way back to the table eventually.
The pixies find themselves in Aaron's hair. They do like little braids.
And I think that's as good a place as any to call session.
Right. Hawk will fill in Bee and Lish on the plan, by the way, to head west.
Cool.
Lish
So
can
thanks.
here.
Thanks for a great session, guys.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I was not
so
nearly
many
as
lore
roasted as I
drops.
expected.
Yeah. Like, in general, though, today was a very, like, revealing things about people session.
Yeah.
I will definitely need to rewatch the parts that I had to step away from.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, no worries. I recorded it like usual, and I'll put it on YouTube hopefully later today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Add it to the playlist and what.
Oh boy.
I can't wait for the first combat because I don't think anyone has. I mean, no one's voiced guesses as to what Hawk is, class-wise, not race-wise.
I was so nervous about how that battle axe scenario was gonna go. I was
know.
thinking of scenarios like Aaron's gonna try and go for the battle axe, Aaron's gonna try and attack me, fight for my fucking life. I'll get to
And then your only witness is Demir, who's
for the
just
first
in the
time.
corner.
That'll be fun.
And I gave Aaron the cold iron dagger. That was
Exactly.
scary.
Oh,
Also the
dear.
fact that
A
Little
return
secret.
back into the tavern splattered in blood. Yeah, we don't know where Lish went.
you just gotta go
Aaron
do
was-
something.
Aaron was totally fucking prepared to pull that.
Meanwhile, like at the beginning, I was like totally expecting Demir to just like take Hawk inside and go, okay, so what the hell are you? You're not leaving until you tell me.
Oh, God.
I'm still expecting that to happen to someone at some point, and the response is something I'm planning for.
Nice.
Well, anyway, I gotta get out because I got to drive and then shower and prepare for work and all that.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for pulling, as you called it,
Thank
a
you.
gamer move.
Yes,
Thank you for the
definitely.
pro gamer move. It was wonderful to have you as always.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
wonderful to have everyone as always.
Yeah. This is great.
I'm glad that I was able to make it.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Let's see you next time.
See you guys around.
Thank you.
Farewell.